Здравствуйте, ребят! Сегодня мы будем продолжать прохождение Зова Ктулху. В прошлой серии мы бежали из психиатрической больницы. Тут какая-то неведомая сила убила этого человека. Сейчас мы будем продолжать. Убегать.
This is insane. What killed him?
Какой-то газ. Надо его пробежать. Так, его должно отпустить ведь, да?
Damn! The gas! Oh, my head.
Later. We need to move on.
Как-то все странно. Тот парень нам помогает бежать. Хотя его вроде бы убили.
Who goes there? That nightmare again. I need a drink.
Воу. Ктулху-то зовет. И опять здесь.
Fine. Do what you want. I'm just trying to reason with you.
Та дама и офицер, который вроде бы мертв. Так, у нас есть 1 очко опыта, даже 3 очка опыта. Все, мы по максимуму прокачали красноречие, то есть в диалогах будет попроще. Что бы теперь продолжить? Так, это мы не можем прокачивать. Это можно прокачивать только из предметов, которые мы находим. По книг, всякого такого. Так, я помню, замки проще взломать с расследованием. Или силу. Наверное, все-таки расследование. Так, а рассудок. О, у нас два новых рассудка. Психологические травмы.
You're awake, Mr. Pierce. How do you feel?
Did I sleep long?
The day is only starting. It's fine.
Действительно.
How's our fugitive? Dr. Fuller hasn't reported your disappearance to the force, but that'll come soon.
Bradley?
Who else would it be?
Mr. Pierce, are you all right? You look like you saw a ghost.
There are things I can't explain.
Tell us. What happened?
Да, оккультизма у нас нет.
I met a Francis Sanders. Do you know him?
Of course, he's a patient. Or was. I haven't seen him since Dr. Fuller had him transferred to the basement.
He knew Saroi Hokins, and that's what killed him.
What? How did he die?
I'm not sure I can explain it.
Tell me how Mr. Sanders died.
I didn't see what, but something was there with us.
Of what do you speak?
Sanders said it was Sara Hokins' visitor. He spoke of it like a living being.
Sara Hokins? Have I missed something here? This makes no sense. I don't see how it can help crack the Hawkins case.
You really think she's involved? How could she have murdered Mr. Sanders?
Francis Sanders mentioned Mrs. Hawkins just before dying. It's no coincidence.
You know, Francis Sanders was a well-known art collector. I guess you can still pay a visit to his wife, Irene Sanders.
An art collector, you say? That's probably how they met.
If you plan on having dinner at the Sanders household, please spare the widow the tale of her late husband's suffering.
I don't agree. She deserves the truth.
But that truth may be biased. We don't know the bottom of it.
You're right. Without a plausible explanation for what I saw, let's not jump to conclusions.
Действительно, пусть лучше.
That seems wise indeed.
Very well. I'll go to see Francis's widow. Perhaps I'll find a link between her husband's death and Sara Hokins.
Don't end up in the hospital this time.
I'll do my best.
Действительно, ребят, лучше пусть она будет в неведении. Типа, умер и умер. Переживет это. Но вот если она что-то такое странное услышит, думаю, ей будет хуже. Намного хуже. Интересно, нас так просто типа оставят? То есть мы сбежали с больницы и теперь все?
What can I do for you, sir?
Mrs. Sanders, I'm a private detective. We must talk about your husband and his ties to Sara Hokins. Can I come in?
You may. However, before we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
That is precisely what brings me here.
Well, well, look who's here.
Интересно.
You know each other.
We met briefly, but he made a strong impression on me. The main thing is that we understood one another. The brave detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my business.
I bump into her every time I'm investigating someone's death.
It's a small island, Detective. My island. It's better that it's you bumping into me.
You're
Yes, that's
investigating
patient.
Francis' death. Why? Who hired you?
I spoke to Francis before he died. His story suggests a link to a case I'm working on.
Well, since this business has got nothing to do with me, I'll be in your husband's office, Irene. We'll carry on later.
Very well, Miss Baker. This way, Mr. Pierce. And do make yourself comfortable. It would seem that you have much to tell me. May I inquire as to when you had the opportunity to talk to my husband?
Yesterday, I met him at the hospital. He spoke to me about Sara Hokins.
Oh, of course he spoke to you about her. That's all he talked about. Sara Hokins and her paintings. Please forgive my tone. The fact is that I have not been allowed to see him since he was interned. You, on the other hand, a perfect stranger, were able to see him and even talk with him the day he died. How was he? Were you present when he had this attack? What happened?
I expected to find you more grief-stricken than this by the death of your husband.
I do not like the tone of your allusion, sir. I had long months to weep every tear in my body, and to accept, if not my fate, at least that of my husband. And so I'm sorry to disappoint you if you're expecting more hysteria and grieving widow in my voice. Rest assured, however, my anger is real. I need to understand. How could this happen? In a reputed institute?
Я не говорил,
And,
что у меня
and
на
right
глазах.
before your
В
eyes.
смысле?
Did you not do anything to help him?
Mrs. Sanders, I understand your grief, and I extend my deepest condolences to you. But I had nothing to do with the death of your husband. I've just arrived on Darkwater. I'm investigating the death of the Hawkins family.
The death of the Hawkins family? You mean it was not an accident?
Думаю, да.
This accursed island knows only tragedy after tragedy. You too would be advised to flee it like the plague. Oh, I'm tired, Mr. Pierce. I would be grateful if you could tell me what you expect of me, and then leave.
Did your husband talk to you about Sarah Hawkins' visitor? A shambler, to use his precise terms.
Well, you can imagine that's all he talked about. It's exhibited at the center of the gallery. No better place for the painting that endowed him with the privilege of such a shameful and miserable end to his life.
Hold on. The Shambler is a painting by Sarah Hawkins.
Who else to paint such horrors? Take a look for yourself, if you feel so inclined.
It is my only lead at this stage. I suppose I have nothing to lose.
Then you have paid no heed. For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gallery again. But if you're so eager to see it...
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders. I won't be long.
Сейчас сходим в галерею, посмотрим на картину.
The day the Shambler came into the Sanders' lives.
Расследование какое-то.
A house of artists.
Дом художника.
Frances Sanders and Sarah Hawkins were close. Friends, even?
Может быть, даже дружили. Вполне может быть.
A house of artists. Sanders' accession register. He wrote beside the Shambler, "Finally." What did Sarah Hawkins fear so much that she didn't want to sell the painting? He finally won. Was Sanders aware of his imminent doom? She first refused to sell the painting. How did that make her feel? She despises Sarah Hawkins, but it's the painting she truly hates. Why?
Потому что картина, наверное, сделала его мужем безумным. Безумным.
The Shambler. I need to see it.
Он увидел картину и... Видишь себя глаза. Угу. Что он мог там такое увидеть, чтобы выколоть себе глаза? Это действительно интересно.
Let's see what this cylinder has to say once it's inserted in a phonograph.
А где фонограф? Кто же дома запирает все двери? Наверное, знает, что будут такие гости, как я. Вот наша
That's
подруга.
twice you've stepped on my toes, Detective. Try not to make a habit of it.
I've got a lot of bad habits.
What have you come looking for in this gallery?
I have a well-off client in Boston who heard about the death of Francis Sanders and wanted me to size up his estate before making an offer to his widow.
Perfect, Detective. The pretext? The body language? I would have bought it if it was the first time I'd seen your face.
Вот блин.
You're a good talker, Pierce. Your story will do for the moment.
То есть у нас максимально прокачанное красноречие, и она нам не верит. Или верит.
And you? What brings you to the Sanders home?
I'm here on business. Irene asked me to liquidate all these paintings. She doesn't intend to hang around here for long.
Why you?
Believe it or not, there aren't many collectors on Darkwater. It needs someone with a network and a means of transport to the mainland. A choice that comes down to Fitzroy and me. And I'm far more pleasant, wouldn't you say?
Не нахожу. Ключик.
An old diary. A strange Amerindian pendant.
Странный индейский медальон. Какие-то треска. Оккультизм.
I could use one of those. Strange. For months, Sara Hokins refused to part with her painting, to finally give it away for nothing.
То есть Сара Хокинс предупреждала его, что картина может быть причиной каких-то странных вещей. Но он упорно хотел ее. Малой твари, том 2. Молот твари, жесть. Но я хочу ее прочитать, я не могу. Только одна страница. Ну, две доступно. Оккультизм зато прокачался. И рассудок. Так понимаю, чем больше у нас травм рассудка, тем хуже будет конец. Какой-то кинжал. Вау. Даже не знаю, что это такое.
These artifacts date from pre-Columbian times. These artifacts date from pre-Columbian times.
Мне надо ключ, я думаю. Здесь показано, что можно взять. Здесь можно прятаться.
The man transformed an entire wing of his manor into an art gallery.
все такое страшное. Типа, странный коллекционер. Держать все это в доме. Здесь что-то было. Скоробей. Похож на странного краба. Так, ну ладно. Я думаю, если я посмотрю на картину, то...
Is this dagger part of Sanders' collection, or was he seeking to acquire it?
Ну, если я нажму посмотреть на картину, я куда-то перейду. Вот и масленица для этого. То мне, думаю, мне нужно как-то взять этот кинжал с собой.
These artifacts date from pre-Columbian times. These artifacts date from pre-Columbian times. These artifacts date from pre-Columbian times.
Да, он там был нарисован на рисунке. Мне бы ключ найти. Думаю, может, он где-то здесь.
Irene, I made a mistake. I fear that it might be too late for me. Nobody should enter, except to burn everything. I never had the courage. Pay somebody to do it. He's inside my head. I see him behind my eyelids each time I shut my eyes. I can't hold him back. Forgive me.
That accursed gallery. Those accursed paintings. That accursed Sarah.
Did she really care for him after all?
Понятно, почему они не хотят возвращать его.
These artifacts date from pre-Columbian times.
Верно, если же...
The public entrance to the gallery.
У чудища нету глаз.
What the hell was that?
Нужно найти. Да. Не, там должно быть изогнутое. Уходи отсюда. Жуткая хрень, уходи отсюда. Что за жесть? Тупо жесть. Страшно. Так, музыка слишком громко, тупо слишком громко. Эффекты немножко ниже. Зашел. Так, это не тот, это. Но он очень похож на самом деле. Но мне кажется, это не тот клинок. Да, там номер 5. Тупо жесть. Тупо жесть, как она есть. Он тусит прямо там, где мне нужно. Уходи. Уходи, злой монстр. Уходи, 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 меня нет. Злая тварь. Я слышу цоканье твоих лапок. Так. Нет, там должно быть два клинка. Ну, типа. Не больше. Вот это он.
That. This dagger looks different.
Уходи, уходи. Уходи. Наконец-то. Какая злобная хрень.
What's the matter with you?
Действительно, такой привидится.
Don't tell me that you're going crazy, too.
You didn't see anything.
I saw you within an inch of putting a dagger through your forearm. Did I miss something more interesting?
Да, ты много пропустила, блин.
Sanders was right. This painting is cursed.
What are you talking about?
I was attacked by a creature. I pushed it back, I think.
I think so, too.
You knew. You knew about the beast.
Between what Irene told me and what I read in Sanders' library, I preferred to be cautious. You seem pretty keen to go it alone. At worst, you would have confirmed my fears. At best, you would have cleared the way to my merchandise. Thank you, Detective. And by the way, where do you think you're going with that dagger?
It saved my life. It's an extraordinary dagger.
You should talk to Algernon Drake. He's an antique dealer here on Darkwater. He'll tell you all about it. From what I saw in the ledgers, it was him who sold it to Sanders.
Я думала, она подумает, что мы какие-то бахнутые, типа. Чувак хотел отрезать себе руку.
This symbol on the dagger, it was all over Sanders' cell. It's what protected him. It's what protected me, too. This antique dealer has a good knowledge of the occult. I have nothing to lose by meeting him.
You've got your spunk back. Go where you want. I'm staying here to talk business with Irene.
Здесь что-то не так. Видимо, кто-то побывал раньше. Антиквариат.
Where is the bookseller? An old diary.
Плюс к оккультизму. Да. Уже третий уровень. Ой, у нас есть очки опыта. Все в расследовании. Да. Масло немножко. Ну, есть, здесь есть масло, можно и так поискать.
What happened here? Let's start over. Where did they break in from? Blood. Seems like amateur work.
Действительно, парень порезал руку. Оккультизм.
No sign of struggle. If the burglar smashed this jar, it wasn't intentionally. Was he hurt then? What killed all these animals?
Крыс. Что-то убило крыс. И таракана.
What happened that made the burglar flee before finishing his work?
Хотя, кстати, тараканы могут пережить ядерную войну. А тут они бац, называется все.
What the... Charles Hawkins? What's happening to Hawkins? What sort of power did Sara Hawkins' painting possess? Sara Hawkins helped hide something in this safe.
Здесь мне нужно будет открыть этот сейф.
Drake put in a great deal of effort to hide whatever is in here. Everything is linked to the Sara Hawkins case.
Интересно. То есть мне нужно поискать какие-то цифры.
Drake left instructions on how to find the combination of his safe.
Где жизнь и ученые объединяются в греческом слове. Порядок удовольствия разума, но беспорядок наслаждения воображения. Да. Скорее всего, это книги. Скрывание книги. Скрытие.
Is everyone on this island taking sleeping pills? What link did he find between Charles Hawkins and an old amulet?
Мне нужны цилиндры.
Arkham editions. How many volumes are there in this collection? Another volume by Arkham Editions.
6.
Arkham Editions. Never heard of him.
6.
How many volumes are there in this collection?
7.
Another volume by Arkham Editions. Arkham Editions.
1.
Never heard of him. How many volumes are there in this collection?
Интересно.
Another volume by Arkham Editions.
Интересненько. Так, я думаю, здесь есть много книг, которые можно почитать и улучшить навыки.
Things are not looking good.
Положение печальное. Но не у нас, это точно. Такой граммофон. Так, я не могу его запустить. Масленица. Понял. Вот так вот тоже.
Freud's The Interpretation of Dreams. It's the work that laid the foundations of psychoanalysis at the beginning of this century.
Прикольно нашел что-нибудь. Плюс к медицине. Почти троечка. Еще плюс. Конечно, буду читать.
What does this strange book contain? This book contains unholy knowledge.
А, это же та тварь, которая на нас напала.
Cylinders that Drake tried to hide. I should perhaps listen to them.
Так, цилиндры я нашел.
Arkham Editions.
Как я уже читал.
Never heard of him.
Плюс медицина.
The Book of Zion is the foundational work behind Helena Blavatsky's Theosophical
Плюс
movement.
оккультизм.
Its followers place truth on the same footing as a religion.
Все, больше ничего нет. Ну, допустим, все.
How many volumes are there in this collection?
Так, где же мне послушать эти вещи?
And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets.
Еще раз.
And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets.
Следующий.
I finally understood that we were only pieces on the chessboard of the gods. Let those of us who are still standing protect our White Queen from their dark soldiers. I see our number dwindling, and my will strengthens as my apprehension grows. We shall refuse to be the playthings of destiny.
Так, шахматная
Dear friend,
доска.
I thank you again for the anthology of the works of Arkham editions that you sent me. Volume 9, Azathoth and Other Horrors, seemed particularly relevant to my research. I never tire of browsing through them.
Да, окей, значит, у нас есть 9 цифра точно, и что-то на шахматной доске в первом штуке должно быть.
Like precious stones lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets.
The Queen has little protection.
Королева защищена слабо.
The Queen has little protection.
Что там играть? А, вот
The
играть.
chalice of knowledge.
Красные. То есть раз красные, два красные, 3 красные, 4 красные и 5 красных. Сколько их здесь? 3. Вот раскола. Раз, два, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ну, 5 получается. То есть у нас есть 9, 5 и...
The Queen has little protection.
И 3 защитника королевы. Сейчас попробуем. Что было первое? Первое была Граали. Это 5 штук. Далее второе было по королеве. Там 3. Ой, здесь 5, здесь 3. И здесь 9. Потому что это 9-й том. О, получилось. Было не очень сложно на самом деле. Сколько пыли. Наверное, тяжелая книга. Интересненько.
Dr. Colden, this man's condition is deteriorating.
What says Dr. Fuller? It's his patient, after all.
He's busy with Captain Fitzroy. He specifically asked us not to bother him when that's the case.
Oh, of course. I'll see what I can do. Mr. Blake, can you hear me? I'm Dr. Colden. We'll take care of you.
There's nothing we can do. I tried talking to him. He's catatonic.
То есть мы сейчас за женщину играем?
What can you tell me about him?
He was highly agitated an hour ago. We were about to tie him down when he fell asleep. 10 minutes ago, he curled up into a fetal position. I thought he was waking up, but no.
Show me his file.
That's not possible.
Don't tell me Dr. Fuller has taken this file as well. We need it.
That's why I called you. This man's ailment has been hidden from us.
Come on now. What was he treated for?
An intoxication, I was told. After inhaling chemicals.
Ага, то есть он надышался химикатов. Видимо, эти эксперименты ушлого докторишки. Да все из-за этих экспериментов. Когда мы еще были в подвале, там что-то было сказано. Видимо, это последствия.
What are his symptoms?
His temperature has been going down, his skin losing its color, his body rigid. I closed his eyes myself. They were glassing over. I didn't want them to dry out, and I couldn't bear to look at the expression on his face.
You did well. Don't worry. Let's stay professional, if you will. I don't recognize him. Did he just arrive on the island?
He said he worked on the docks, but not with Captain Fitzroy. I think he works for Ms. Baker.
Who?
You know, the woman at the head of their gang. They call her Cat.
Oh, I see.
Do you have other questions?
That'll do for the time being.
Any idea what this man might be undergoing?
Dr. Fuller, please.
No, don't.
I know what you fear, but this man is dying.
Marie, I'm begging you. He'll hold me accountable if you bother him. Perhaps you could examine him yourself first. I'll do my best to assist.
Very well. I'll examine him. "30-year-old subject. Severe hypothermia. Erythematous papules around the eyes and eardrums. Necrosed palpebral tissue. Lord, this smell. His skin shows abnormal loss of color and seems dried out. He's totally dehydrated. His fingertips and toes seem to feature a slight ring under the skin, tender at the touch, slightly sticky. Severe malnutrition. Swollen abdomen with traces of petechia. Doesn't seem like an edema. Slight protuberances seem to indicate the presence of a foreign body.
So, Doctor, an opinion?
I'm not sure I have the necessary knowledge to treat this man.
Don't say that. You're our most worthy doctor after Dr. Fuller.
Some of his symptoms are beyond my comprehension.
What did you find?
Did you examine his abdomen? It would seem there's something inside.
He hasn't eaten in days. Are you certain it's not an edema?
No. Can't you recognize an edema? Pushing with your finger won't leave a trace. And look at these bumps.
It's not like he could be pregnant.
Whatever it is, this man has something inside him that shouldn't be there. We should operate on him at once.
Dr. Fuller said not to worry, that the edema would go away by itself.
You know, I'm not sure Dr. Fuller is telling the truth. In spite of the muscle contractions, his arms seem limp.
Yes. They can't have decalcified, not at this rate.
And yet, if there is a bone in this arm, it's softer than that of a newborn baby. What about his cranium?
It's soft at the touch. It does seem like the skull of a baby.
Look at these sticky rings growing at his fingertips. What can be happening?
I'm sure you'll find an explanation. You have to.
I see signs of hypodermoclysis, but he's still dehydrated. When was his last IV?
He's constantly under perfusion. I've even gone beyond the recommended dose to no avail. And you won't believe me, but when we bathed him earlier...
He seemed to feel better?
Yes. Like he needs an aquarium, not a perfusion. But that doesn't explain his condition.
I almost don't believe it myself, but these symptoms are not those usually associated with the human species.
What do you mean? Don't tell me you believe in extraterrestrials.
No. This poor man is from our world, all right. But his body is undergoing unnatural mutations. And this transformation is killing him. His body simply can't cope.
Where could he have gotten such an infection?
I pray that it's not here.
Dr. Colden, may I know what you're doing to my patient?
What I'm doing? How about what you've done to him?
Let us calm down, my dear Marie. I don't appreciate your tone, nor your insinuations. I've done to him what I do to all my patients, provide him with the best available care.
Your imagination is without limit. It's your homemade drug again, is it not? Those people are not your guinea pigs.
There, there. What have you seen to put you in such a state?
These are alarming symptoms. If we don't act, he'll die.
Do you believe that? I'm not as convinced, you see. I even think this man has a strong chance of completely healing from his ailments.
No, Doctor. This patient isn't himself anymore. He's dying.
Really? What do you mean by isn't himself?
He's changing. His physical characteristics, they are more animal than human now.
Fascinating. An animal, you say? Could you be more precise? Cephalopod, perhaps?
This amuses you.
Your reaction does. I know your thirst for knowledge, Doctor. It's your innocent worries for this man that have you overreacting.
For this man, and the others whose medical files you've been hiding.
I have to protect my discovery. These people owe me their life, but the world isn't ready yet. It will be, in time.
I will not let you do this.
You disappoint me, Marie, but I still have hope you'll one day share my point of view. In the meantime, take care of your own patients and try not to forget who you're dealing with.
Was that a threat? What did he mean?
It was a warning. Dr. Fuller is this institution's founder and one of our profession's most influential voices. My word is of no weight against his. If I continue to protest, I will only ruin my reputation and career.
It's scandalous. Can't we do anything? Is there no evidence of his crimes?
Интересно. Он, видимо, ставит над людьми эксперименты, от которых они превращаются в чудовищ всяких. Ну, как к этому всему привязан оккультизм, не знаю.
Oh, that evidence exists. I'm sure of it. I need to find the missing medical files.
And where would you find those? In his office? What if you get caught?
I'd rather not think about that. I'm counting on your discretion.
Of course, Doctor. You can count on me. I'll keep mum.
Ладно, ребята, будем на этом завершать. Эту серию. Надеюсь, вам понравилось. Ставьте лайки, подписывайтесь на канал. Оставляйте комментарии, что вы хотели видеть. Может, что поменять. Завтра, послезавтра будет вторая серия. Удачи вам.